Must have been a memorable 100. What are your feelings on missing that 100?
Look, it's disappointing. I think it's a fun game. 3 runs, bat so well for 97. And then you get out, you don't get 100, you come back in the change room, it probably feels worse than getting a 20 in some respects. It's a bizarre feeling. I would have loved 100 out here. Rawalpindi, Islamabad, where I grew up. I would have loved it for my family, for mum and dad. I know they would have been watching back home. For my wife too, who's pregnant with our second child. I think I would have brought a lot of joy, but at the same time, I think my mum and dad and Rachel, my wife, would have loved me being out there. I was having a lot of fun. I was enjoying playing. And to put it in perspective, I wasn't even in the Australian team a few months ago, so I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm happy that I contributed to the team at the end of the day.
Andrew Ramsey, please.
Oh, hi, Usman. Did you know that one had come off the glove straight away? Did you think that destiny was maybe on your side when it was given not out?
It was touch and go. I felt it graze my arm. I thought it might have nicked my glove. But yeah, look, it was one of those ones where I thought, I think that's hit the glove, but I wasn't 100% sure. It was probably me just willing it myself, my head telling me myself that I wasn't out more than anything, but I was clearly out. So disappointing way to go, but that's cricket.
Scott Bailey, please.
Well done. Just one on the state of the game, mate. Do you still think there's a chance of a result here? Marnus spoke about last night trying to build a lead and doing the job on day 5. Is that sort of still where you see this game going, or the way the pitch is that likely to make it pretty hard, do you think?
You got to respect Test cricket. You got to respect the wicket. You got to respect the opposition. I think tomorrow's another big day for us. If we can bat well and keep scoring runs and give ourselves an opportunity, maybe. But get too far ahead of yourself, especially in the subcontinent when there's a bit of purchase from the spinners and whatnot. Things can happen very quickly, and then you're back out in the field. So I wouldn't like to be too far ahead. We're still 200 runs or so behind them. There's a long way to go in this game yet. So I think we need to bat well tomorrow to have options. That'll be the first and foremost.
Nick, please.
Thanks, Brian. Usman, you spoke in Sydney earlier this year about how you had some reluctance about opening the batting and the difficulties of opening the batting. Do you feel more comfortable now that you have had a couple of test matches partnering with David at the top of the order?
There was never any reluctance to opening the batting. Batted everywhere from 1 to 6. Generally, openings probably the hardest position out of all. You have to face a new wall every time. I think most players will tell you that. But I've scored runs at opening. I've scored runs all through the list. I'm just, at the moment, the opportunities to open for Australia, I'm really enjoying it. Enjoying a lot more than the last week that we played out that big ball game over. That was a minefield. So, I love batting with David. We've known each other for such a long time, so it doesn't matter where I'm at, to be honest.
Tom Decent, please.
Hey, Usman. Just checking if you had any long lost relatives in the crowd today or this week at all, and is sort of now that you have sort of stepped on the field in Pakistan, is what you expected? I know you weren't sure what it was going to be like when you got here.
I don't think I have any long lost relatives in Islamabad. Most of my relatives and family are from Karachi. I was the only person born in Islamabad because my parents moved here for work. So the next test match is where all the relatives are. In Karachi, so we'll have to wait and see then. But it's been awesome playing out here. Honestly, it just feels like any other game. I remember being out there at day 1, just looking around and thought to myself, I could be anywhere in the world right now. I could be, just don't know. You're in a cricket field. Crowd was going off, playing another game, which is a really nice thing. I think that's when you enjoy the cricket the most. It's a nice feeling ground. It's not too big. It's nice and open. So really enjoyed the atmosphere out here.
Alex Malcolm, please.
Well played, Usman. You appear from the outside to be playing with a clarity of mind and a freedom that every batter chases over their career. Can you give us some insights into, I know you've talked about it previously about arriving at this spot, but what's the secret to where you are now in terms of the mental space that you're in and the way that you're playing?
No, look, I felt really good today. I felt mentally in a really good spot in coming into it. I guess probably because I've been out of the system. I've been out of Cricket Australia for 2 years. I know it's not the big end anymore. I had 2 years out where I thought I wasn't going to play for Australia again. And they were 2 really good years. I had a lot of fun. Rach, my wife and I, we had a daughter. A lot of good things outside of cricket. Gives you a lot of perspective. There's a lot of things happening, right now. We've obviously had a pretty big week in terms of Australian cricket. A couple of greats passing. We had massive floods in Queensland, Brisbane, where I live back home. I think all these things end up putting perspective, and I guess now also I know that it doesn't really bother me as much of what people say and what people do. I've been in and out of teams so much, I've been dropped. I just play the way I want to play. I just think of it as I'm playing club cricket or shield cricket back home, and that's how I take it for Australia now. I don't think that'll change until I stop playing. I'm quite happy and content with where I am in life and cricket. And I've learned a lot from this game and I respect it, so I'm just going to enjoy it now.
We've got time for 3 more questions. Avani Das, Adris Malik and Zahid Farouk Malik, please. So Avani, please.
Hey, Usman, you just mentioned, the passing of those players over the last couple of days. There's obviously been the bombing nearby as well. Can you reflect on what it's been like on the 3rd day after Warnie's death and how the team's feeling and how you're feeling about all those sort of tragedies that have happened?
I'm not trying to sound too insensitive. We obviously all wearing back armbands. And so, lots happened this week. But at the end of the day, we're still playing Test cricket, and the minor focus is on this match. It gets really tough. You're literally just out there playing. You come home, you eat some food, you wake up in the morning again, you're out there playing again. I think the boys are very professional. Can separate what's going on the outside and what's happening while we're actually playing the game. Try not to play it on emotion. So everyone deals with it differently. I can only speak for myself. So I guess that's how I'm feeling, just focusing on the game ahead and not looking into too much of what's happening around us. Still a test match.
Adris Malik, please.
Thank you, Brian. Hi, Usman. What do you say about the wicket behavior? Like, it will help tomorrow for the bowlers that they can easily get the Australian, or still it's consistent and constant for you people?
It's definitely, the wicket's definitely degrading. It's slowly getting worse. I can see cracks out there now. But it's hard to know what it'll be like the next 2 days. I think weather dependent too. I think there's a little bit of rain forecasted tonight and a little bit tomorrow. So it'll just depend on how that plays out. It's still a good wicket, but I think it is slowly starting to degrade. So I don't know how much it'll degrade from here on in. There's cracks, a little bit of spin. I'm not a rail fitness specialist, so I'll leave that up to the expert. I think it's still a good wicket, which will keep degrading over the next 2 days.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Zahid Farouk Malik, please.
What do you will say about the behavior of the spectators here in Rawalpindi, and what are your feelings to play in your hometown? Somebody English and some little bit in Urdu kindly.
The spectators here have been great. They've been really welcoming. We've gone to boundary fielding and they've been chanting our names. And the Davies been going out there, they've been chanting Warner, they were chanting my name. Day 1, day 2, I'm going out. I was just joking around with them, just waving and playing with the crowd. The crowd has been great. Even Davey today, while we were batting, said how welcoming the crowd was. He went out before we went back out there after lunch, and they were, Davey, give us a wave, and Warner, we love you. So I think the reception here has been great. You can tell the Pakistani people they love their cricket. Obviously, we knew that, but they've been very hospitable. So yeah, it's just been a really good vibe, and we've really enjoyed being out here.
Just finally, Abdul Ghaffar, please.
Thanks, Brian. Assalamu alaikum. And hello, Usman. Usman, definitely you scored brilliantly today. A very positive inning. Got out on 97 on your stadium, which actually very close to your heart. So must be a little bit of heartbreak, Usman, because you played very well and you deserved 100. So anything you want, just I want to add on that feeling when you got out on 97.
No, look, I'm a big believer. Obviously, I'm a Muslim. I believe in God, and I trust what happens, good and bad. You have to take them equally. There's a lot of good things that happen in my life, and then, there's sometimes that you want certain things to go a certain way, they don't happen. I think you just have to accept that and move on, take the good with the bad. I'm very grateful. As I said earlier, it does suck when you get out of 97. It's not fun. I think that's my third 97 Test cricket now. So, and I've got one before already against Pakistan, the MCG. So it's not the ideal feeling, but as I said, I take the good with the bad. I always know there's a greater plan. I believe there's a greater plan. So I just accept whatever comes. Whether I get a dark 97, 200, whatever's meant to be for me. So I'm pretty satisfied with anything that happens. I just try my best.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for your time this evening, and we'll speak to you again tomorrow.